In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a bad light switch. Now, if you don't already have one of these, I recommend that you go pick one up at your local Lowe's or Walmart, Home Depot, whatever. Most stores carry these, $10 to $15. Just a little voltage tester. Now, I use this one because it's got a flashlight built into it. Comes in handy. Or you could just get one like this without a flashlight. They're a little bit cheaper, so $10 to $15 for your voltage tester. You're looking at maybe 30-40 cents for a switch, so you're less than $20 into the whole job, when a typical service call is going to range anywhere from $79 to $128. So it's really easy. I'm going to show you how to do it so you can save all that money. First step is to remove the switch plate. So this screw and this screw, go ahead and take those out. Now that you got your switch plate removed, if you look right here, there's two screws on the side of this switch. One here, one there. One of these screws has your power wire on it. The other screw has the wire that's going to your light on it. So what you want to do, turn on your voltage tester, and you want to find out which one has your power wire. So on this switch, the power wire is on the top screw. Okay, so we know we got power right here on this top screw. Now, the way you'll know if you got a bad switch is when you turn your switch on, there will not be no power on this bottom screw. Now in my case, this switch is not bad. So I've got power on the top screw, the switch is on, and now I also have power on the bottom screw. So the switch is working. Now first thing first, safety. Safety is always first. So if you have somebody to help you, have them hold the voltage tester on that screw that has your power coming in, and then go to the panel, your breaker box. You want to find the breaker that's controlling the circuit. If you don't know if your panel's like a game of Waldo, like my panel or most everybody's panel, you're just gonna have to flick through them one at a time until the person in here tells you that it dies. Okay, so when it stops blinking red and it starts blinking green, that means that you have killed that circuit. So we're going to go to the panel and kill the circuit. Okay, so now that we have killed the circuit, we're going to go ahead and remove these two screws. One at the top, one at the bottom. And then we're going to pull the switch out. Okay, so now that we got the two screws removed, we're going to go ahead and pull this switch out. Now if you look right here on this switch, now I showed y'all that this switch wasn't bad, but in this house, it's an older house, and you see how the wires, they stab in to the back of the device. Now that's not good, and if you have this style switches and receptacles in your house, then I recommend that you get them all changed out, because these wires, they just stab into the back of the switch and it acts like a Chinese finger trap. So the wire sticks into a hole and it kind of grabs on to the wire, but over time, over years, it doesn't hold as tight anymore. And so then that gives you a loose connection, it can give you a headache later. So I recommend going ahead and change them out. That's why I'm changing these out, because I don't want a problem later. So I'm going to show you why these are bad. So I'm going to start with the switch leg here. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get these wires out. So if you just twist, it'll just pull right out. Now that's not a very good connection if you ask me. So that's why we're changing this switch out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take this other wire out of here. Just kind of grab a hold of it with some pliers and just twist the switch as you're pulling off of the wire. So you got a hot wire and then a switch leg wire. And then this one, the bare ground, you know, it's okay to touch. Even if this was hot, this wire is okay to touch. Don't be scared of it. This is your ground wire. This is your safety wire. Okay? So now, to get this wire off, all I'm going to do, since I'm changing out the switch, is I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to cut that. This switch is trash. Now, take a pair of pliers, needle nose, or strippers, and we're going to grab the wire right here on the end, and we're just going to curl a hook. And then we're going to do the same thing on these two. Now this is not enough copper on this wire, so we need to strip back a little bit of this insulation so we can get the right size hook. So we're going to strip back just a little bit. That's about how much you want, about 1 inch. And then you're just going to get you a little hook. Same thing on this one. Strip it back a little bit. You want about a good 1 inch of copper showing. And then you just grab it at the end of it and make a hook. So now we got our hooks on. We got our new switch. So the green screw is always your ground. This guy. These two screws right here, it does not matter which one of these goes where. All that the switch is doing is sending power from one to the other when you turn it in the on position. It does not matter if the hot goes here or here, it don't matter. Just put these two wires on these two screws. So we're going to start with the ground. You're going to put your ground, you're going to put that hook around the screw. Give it a little pinch with your pliers so that way it's good and tight around that screw. We're going to go ahead and tighten this up. Okay, so we got our ground done. Now, we're going to take this wire here and we're just going to put this hook around the screw. So once you get that hook wrapped around the screw, take your needle nose, give it a good little pinch so that way it's tight around the screw. And then go ahead and tighten it up. Make sure it's good and tight. Loose connections are not your friend. Same thing with this. Just put the hook around the screw, give it a pinch. Go ahead and tighten the screw up. So now that you got those 3 wires on, then you got to put the switch back in the box. Now when you go to put this switch back in the box, you want to make sure that this bare copper, your ground wire, doesn't fold up in the box all weird and funky and bend around over here to the other side and touch one of these screws. You want to keep that ground wire pushed over here to the left side, out of the way, over here by itself. And then you're just going to tighten these 2 screws. Now that we got our switch screwed back into the box, we're going to go ahead and put our plate on, put these 2 screws in, holding the plate to the switch. Go to your breaker box, turn the breaker back on, and turn the switch on. You should be good. Alright, so now we're back here at the panel. The switch is in, cover's on. We're going to go ahead and turn our breaker back on. Now that we got the breaker on, we're going to go ahead and test it, make sure everything's good. Turn the switch on. Alright y'all, that wraps it up for changing out a bad switch. So if this helped you out, please subscribe, and always remember safety first. Do things to code, do things the right way, follow the steps, and you'll be just fine. Let me know in the comments below if there's something that you would like to see how to do.